Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about Pixar's new movie, Turning Red. This is not in theaters, this is actually on Disney Plus. It's one of those movies that Disney wanted to bitch slap Pixar in the face and say, nah, you're only worthy going on Disney Plus, not in theaters. Despite the fact that Ryan the Last Dragon and Encanto both went to theaters. Pixar, nah, ever since this pandemic started, you're only worthy of theaters. And yeah, that's a slap in the face to Pixar. So I wanted to get that out of the way. What did I think of this movie? I thought this movie. I'll say this: it wasn't. It's not in my top 10 Pixar movies of all time. Pixar has a very strong catalog, and so to get up into the top 10, you're going to have to fight hard. Now, that's not going to be a knock on this movie because I do think this movie was really enjoyable and a lot of fun. There was some really funny humor in here. The movie is very frantic, though, so I'm curious on how a lot of people will follow this movie if it's too frantic for them or if it's a good pace for them, because I did feel that this movie moved fast, which and there was definitely an anime, a little bit of an anime influence in the movie, which I thought made this one stand out a little bit more from other Pixar movies. A lot of the best Pixar movies, I think, stand out a lot. Obviously Finding Nemo is a different movie from Coco, which is a different movie from the Toy Story franchise, Monsters Inc., etc. But there definitely is something in this style that makes it feel different from the other animated movies that we've seen. The animation, by the way, is always top notch when it comes to Pixar. Pixar is one of the best animated studios for a reason. I did enjoy the main character in this movie. I thought she was a lot of fun and interesting journey that she gets to go on, along with her supporting cast. Some of it might be a little predictable. Obviously, if you've seen a lot of movies, you're up to a point like me where, okay, you can catch certain things on where the story might be heading. But for the most part, yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. Kids will definitely love this movie for sure. As someone who lives in Toronto, I will say this movie was so much fun and such a joy to see Toronto be animated in a Pixar movie. I was smiling all the way through, especially when like the CN Tower or the Rogers Center, which in this movie is the Sky Dome, because at that time the movie takes place in 2002. So at that time, it was called the Sky Dome. It was pretty cool to see the city get some animation treatment in a blockbuster film, because Pixar, they make blockbuster movies. Let's face it, a lot of their movies have done very successful throughout the years. I think the only two Pixar movies that bombed were The Good Dinosaur and Cars 2. So this movie I think would have done great if it was in theaters, because I do think it definitely is a movie that will appeal a lot to kids and maybe to some adults too. Maybe that's what I say, maybe. But for the most part, kids will definitely like this. And yeah, the movie was directed by a Canadian director. She did a really great job. I know she did the short film Bow, which also took place in Toronto. That was a really nice short film about about a son and his mother. The mother didn't want to let her son go and grow up and be a man. But similar premise, I guess, in this case. I can confirm that there have never been no giant pandas, by the way, in Toronto, as far as I know. So that's not a spoiler. Maybe. I don't know. But no, you see it in the trailer. There's a giant panda in the trailer. So the panda, yeah, never seen a giant panda in Toronto. I can confirm that. It did make me wonder, though, at the end of the movie. I was wondering to myself, okay, this movie takes place in early 2002. Where was I during that time? I was getting ready to go down to George Brown College at the time, that fall. So I was still in my last year of high school I guess around this time. Or if you go, I think it takes place like in April, May, whatever. So May of 2002, I was watching Attack of the Clones in the movie theaters with my brothers. So there you go. It kind of made me wish that I looked at myself. I was like kind of hoping like they should animate me into this movie because I want to see myself in the background or something like that. Like I live in Toronto. Where am I in this movie? Hey, maybe I should get Pixar to hire me so I can tell my own stories in terms of animation. With that being said, guys, tell me what you thought. Did you enjoy this movie? If you are from Toronto, what did you think of watching a Pixar movie with how great their animation is? What did you think of seeing the city of Toronto represented? Even though they mostly focused on Chinatown because the story was based off a Chinese girl who lived in Toronto. The director obviously, she says this in the behind the scenes features, which is also on Disney Plus. She based it a little bit on her own personal self, so there's a little bit of that stuff going on, and that's how most directors direct. They base things, they tell stories on things that they know and things that they grew up experiencing, and this is what this movie is. It's another experience by another person, but telling it obviously in a fun, unique way. So let me know. And with that being said, I hope you guys subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. And until next time, take care.